today to talk about ankle range of motion in dancers and why it's so important not only to ankle health, but to the rest of the kinetic chain. So we take a look at our ankle model here, and understanding that dancers spend the majority of their time in plantar flexion. They put a lot of force through that ankle in plantar flexion. This is what plantar flexion looks like on our model. So we have our two leg bones here, where it comes down and meets our ankle bone or our talus. Plantar flexion is when we point our toes away, and this is the motion that occurs at the joint. Much like any joint in the body, if we spend a significant portion of time at one range and not the other, the soft tissue around there will start to form around that end range. So when we spend our time in plantar flexion, the tissues on the back, like the calf muscles, the Achilles, stuff like that, will actually shorten a little bit around that. And then what happens is when we try and go into dorsiflexion, two things. One, the tissues of the back are quite tight. They don't want to let us get into that end range. But two, we can actually also get some pinching at that joint, which turns into a little bit of a painful, grumpy ankle. The other thing too is we need our dorsiflexion for walking, running, basically just getting around. And when we don't have that, what happens is we start to lean forward to actually get forward, which pinches at the front of the hip. Then we'll start to extend our back to get more upright, and it turns into a little bit of a grumpy back. So a couple easy things we can do to incorporate into your warm-up prior to practice, training, competing, anything like that. It's just going to help us restore normal range of motion to that ankle. So pick your favorite soft tissue mobilization tool, foam roller, roller stick, lacrosse ball, any of those things will work. And just spending a minute or so really exploring around. Don't just kind of hang out there and roll, but you really want to get sort of up towards the back of the knee, all the way down towards that Achilles. You get the outside, you get the inside. If you find a spot that's a little bit gritty, you can cross your leg over to put a little bit more downward pressure on that spot. You can lift your bum up in the air a little bit, and then from there I'll take my ankle through some range of motion, that dorsiflexion, that plantar flexion. So as I'm sort of pinning that restriction down on the foam roller, I'm actively lengthening and shortening that tissue. From there, as we've got some blood flowing and warmed up the tight muscles, taking that ankle through its full range of motion in a controlled way is going to help kind of keep that range of motion. So holding that leg up, I'm going to take my ankle through its dorsiflexion, its plantar flexion. I'm going to turn that ankle in, I'm going to turn that ankle out. And nice, slow and controlled through the full ranges. Make sure you really get to that end range. About 10 times in each direction is usually sufficient. You'll feel that ankle loosen up as you go along. So after that, we want to do an exercise or a mobility drill specific to dorsiflexion. So get a band, belt, whatever, kind of angled roughly about 45 degrees is going to be beneficial. And what we're going for is we want to target that talus with this. So we want to get the band around that talus joint. The mistake people make is they'll have that too far up the leg. So as we line it up over the talus, this is essentially what it's going to look like. And how to landmark that is when we go to bend forward in dorsiflexion, you see these wrinkles get onto your ankle, they appear on your ankle, and that's sort of the center of that joint. So what I'm going to do is wrap that band right around where those wrinkles are, and then from there, in a nice stable posture, I'm bringing that knee over top of that second toe, so that band's pulling back on the talus, helping open up that joint. I'm just gonna go into that end range dorsiflexion. Again, about 10 times a side should be sufficient, so give that a shot. Make it part of your warm-up routine before dancing. See if that helps take that stiff, pinchy feeling out of the ankle, or if that even helps reduce some of the symptoms further up the chain.